Ferrari with a mountain to climb.
Clearly we've got to catch up. There's no point in taking a conservative approach at the moment because second place is really not going to be good enough. So, you know, we've been very aggressive on the improvements in the car and I think strategy. We've got to make sure we don't get caught out like we did in Barcelona where we felt we're in a strong position but we ended up with physicality between ourselves and Alonso and really gave the race to him.
We understood the problem we had at the Grand Prix in Barcelona. We have solutions for that, so there's no reason not to fight for the victory.
Suggestions that the Monaco incident could force Michael into an early retirement and thus give him more time to watch his beloved Germany play football have been dismissed this weekend by the man himself and by an old rival.
If you enjoy doing your work, if you're successful, you are healthy and you're happy with your life, hey, come on, why not to continue?
Meanwhile, Williams have joined their old mate Jenson Button in qualifying well down the grid. Williams' problem is that they're one of the few top teams still to introduce flexi wings after the rules were clarified earlier this year, and it's really hurt them on Silverstone's Hangar Straight.
And here at Ferrari, Mark, what do you feel Michael Schumacher has to do in terms of rebuilding his reputation in front of this Silverstone crowd?
You know, as far as Michael Schumacher is concerned, he doesn't have to rebuild anything, Steve. He's quite content with what he said at Monaco. He's quite happy about the decision he made at that point. The problem is that the majority of this paddock still feels that it was the wrong decision he made on the day. I think he's going to go out there and he's going to try and win this event. He wants to just prove to everybody that he is the best in the world still, and 7 times world champion, who can doubt him?
In a way, that's his strength. He lives in this cocoon of self-belief and determination. He'll be mighty determined this afternoon.
You know, he comes into the paddock, his chest is pumped out, he's ready for anything that comes at him. And a Grand Prix is not a big issue for him. He knows what he needs to do, and watch him. I think he may well get it done today.
But having Raikkonen between him and Alonso is a bit of a setback, isn't it?
Raikkonen is the spoiler for me. He's got the pace this weekend so far, and that guy's electric. When he's on it, there's no one going to beat him, so I'm looking forward to this.
So it's great drivers doing battle, great drivers at the peak of their powers, but Silverstone is also about other familiar faces as well. Let's go to Ted Kravitz.
Well, it's a typical Silverstone scene, and Ricky Wilson from the Kaiser Chiefs and the rest of the Kaiser Chiefs and friends. This is better than a cold, rainy day in Leeds, isn't it?
Yeah, we're often seen down here, you know, living the high life. We are now international playboys, so this is the kind of thing we have to do.
So, first Grand Prix, what do you make of it all?
It's marvellous. There's a nice vibe in the air, isn't there?
Well, yeah, you can say that again.
But yeah, I've never been before. Whitey's been before. He came a long time ago. He camped, but yeah, we're just here. We're enjoying ourselves here with Honda, so we hope Honda go all the way.
So you're looking out for Jenson, but he's got a tough one from down there on the grid.
He has. He's right at the back, isn't he? I don't know what went on there, but they're just going to fill him full of fuel and you know, hope for the best.
And summer festival season coming up for you lot?
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. That's going to be good. We're doing a few, and it's just the best time of year for everything: music, motor racing, everything.
Okay, have a good race. Take it easy on all these girls.
Got to get back to the girls. See.
I'll stick with Mark Blundell. Stay professional. Whatever its place in the calendar, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone continues to pull in the crowds as the jewel in the crown of motorsport in this country. And what a prospect today. Just about the fastest circuit in the sport, the fastest men at the front of the grid. And we'll continue our build-up in a few minutes' time, talking to Jenson Button and giving news of an historic breakthrough for Louise Goodman. Here at Silverstone, we continue our build-up to the British Grand Prix. Certain amount of disappointment and frustration with what Jenson Button is failing to achieve out on the track at the moment. But a great deal of optimism and excitement about what Lewis Hamilton might achieve in years to come. Because, Lewis, welcome. You've made the point again, and you've turned in another double victory in GP2 this weekend. How important was it to do it in front of this wonderful Silverstone crowd?
I think this weekend, you know, to be in front of the British crowd plus it's my first time here, is just the most phenomenal weekend I've ever had. And you know, to have the best race today, and the amount of support we had. Usually you have a couple of people in the grandstand, but now you have such amazing support, and it was really special for me.
We're going to see all the highlights of what you did in next weekend in our coverage of GP2, our regular coverage. But there you are, celebrating going across the line. Another step towards Formula One, everyone's going to be saying. What is the way forward for you?
Well, I'm working as hard as possible to get the second seat in McLaren here, as you can see. I just hope that my performance today, this weekend, has impressed Ron.
And McLaren, the team that you're associated with, at least at the moment, on the front row for the first time this season with Kimi Räikkönen. What might you learn this afternoon?
Well, I'll be watching closely to see, as I do with all the drivers here, but I'll be watching closely how Kimi performs, how he acts, and how he does his start. And I just hope that I hope they do well this week. They need to win this weekend.
And Kimi, I think, is getting ready in the background in the garage here. Do you pay close attention to his pre-race routine, or are all drivers different? Do you all do your own thing?
We're all different. We all have our own way of getting into that zone. But I think Kimi has a special way of doing it, sort of putting everyone out of his mind and staying focused. And I just hope that I can do that when I'm in Formula 1.
Well, you're getting it absolutely right at the moment. Keep it going. We'll see you in action, GP2, that double victory here at Silverstone in our coverage next weekend.
Thank you.
Enjoy the afternoon.
Thank you.
Lewis, thanks very much indeed. And all is tension here in the McLaren pit. Juan Pablo Montoya getting ready. But what a race in prospect. World champion on pole, 7 times world champion right behind. The man dubbed the fastest man in the sport, sandwiched in between. Jenson Button back in 19th, of course. That's the missing ingredient. But maybe he'll put that to rights in some storming opening laps. He'll be urged on by a crowd basking in the heat here. And it's not even midday yet. Spare a thought then for Louise Goodman, who dons the heavy overalls as our pit lane reporter. But at least today she has the consolation of creating some pit lane history.
I used to work alongside a lot of these guys, but in my 5 years as press officer at Jordan Grand Prix, there was one aspect of the team's operations I never got involved with. If all goes according to plan, I'm going to be taking part in a live pit stop during the race. Now, Andy Stevenson's in charge of the pit stops. What do I need to look out for?
Basically, Lou, first off, make sure you don't get run over as the car comes into the pits. And then secondly, we're going to ask you to take this rear left wheel off. What we're going to do now is do some practices.
Let's go. No pressure then. It's a bit nerve-wracking with everyone watching, isn't it? Come on, carry on. You do your thing too. That's third place gone. Sorry about that.
Sorry for that.
We need a bit of a wiggle as it comes
Might
on.
give it a bit of a smack as it comes.
Okay. Yay! Ah, sorry.
No wheel.
I presume it just becomes second nature at some point, does it?
Yeah, just keep yourself calm. It just becomes a routine.
You need a bit of adrenaline in order to...
Just again tomorrow, is it?
You have faith. More practice, definitely.
Good stuff.
It's Saturday night, time for another pit stop practice. I've got my team radio and all my kit on to make it more authentic for this one. This is the big one. This is the one that decides whether I can take part in the race or not. So wish me luck.
Okay, in again.
The trick is to try and hold the weight on my left hand and then just push like this with my right hand. That's what I'm told anyway. It doesn't always work out like that.
Pull it back just a little bit faster will be perfect.
Okay, just getting the nod of approval from a man here. There's so much to think about, not just what you're doing. See, there's a lot to think of.
Okay.
Now I'm starting to get competitive.
Okay then, thank you very much. I think you qualify for tomorrow's race.
Yes, I mean, it's coming together now, famous last words. I'm sure it'll be totally different when I've got a car coming down the pit lane at me. So that was the easy bit. Now we've got the difficult bit coming up. Johnny, do you reckon I'm ready for it?
No, you're doing all right. We've been obviously watching you doing a couple of the practices and you've been absolutely perfect. I don't think you've actually made a mistake yet, which is great. So just keep that up.
What's going to be the most difficult thing for me, do you reckon?
Well, I think it's just going to be in the heat of the moment. I think that's the biggest thing. It's one of those things, it's a mind game because you're going to be there, everything's going to be going on and you're going to be wanting to do it as quick as you possibly can. Hopefully the panic won't come in, which is always the thing. You just take it easy like you've been doing, there won't be a problem.
Wish me luck, I'm starting to get nervous.
I will do, you'll be fine.
Well, this afternoon, Midland. Maybe in a couple of weeks' time, Louise will be with Ferrari as the cars start to head out on the circuit. I'm sure Michael Schumacher will be watching Louise's performance with some interest. But just at the moment, behind us here in the Ferrari garage, he's got other things on his mind as the car is fired up and the crew take the tyre warmers off and Michael Schumacher gets set to head out onto the circuit in front of those sometimes critical banners that are being waved around this Silverstone circuit, but plenty of Ferrari flags as well. Michael Schumacher on his way. Okay, all the qualities that we've been seeing in a successful pit stop just a few minutes ago, speed, organisation and efficiency, those qualities have been transferred by Formula One into another vital area, that of healthcare, and that's Juan Pablo Montoya just heading off. Formula One has always had a great association, charitable association with the Great Ormond Street Hospital, and it's in that famous institution, as Ted Kravitz reports, that all the qualities of pit stops are starting to help to save lives.
We've come to a posh location in London's West End where familiar faces from the worlds of Formula One and showbiz have gathered to raise money ahead of the British Grand Prix for Great Ormond Street Children's Charity.
The evening featured an F1 themed auction, and when you've got Bernie Ecclestone and Flavio Briatore in the audience, neither of whom are exactly short of a few bob, you're going to get some big numbers. Both bid generously, and over £150,000 was raised. Back at Silverstone, Jenson Button and Giancarlo Fisichella have been helping entertain 80 Great Ormond Street patients and their families.
It's just nice to see some smile from them, and it's not a problem for me spend time or give some money to them.
We're in a position where we can make a difference, and it's good that so many people within the paddock have helped out.
But the F1 connection goes deeper. Consultants at the hospital have been using F1 pit lane know-how to improve the way they hand over patients from the operating theatre to intensive care. This is just as critical a time as the operation itself, so doctors visited Ferrari HQ and Maranello to learn about how Grand Prix teams perfect their procedures and communication in what for the patients is a time when every second counts.
In a way, the handover I see as a pit stop, where the first sector of a race is the operation, and then you have the handover of the patient being like a pit stop, and then the patient's recovery, particularly in the early phase after the operation, is crucial, would be like the second sector of a race.
So they were looking at sort of Formula One as a base to see how we improved and looked into our problems, resolved our problems, analysed the problems, and also documented.
The first thing Nigel asked us, well, who's in charge of the process at every step? And so we introduced that into our handover, that there are two phases where it's very well identified who's in charge. The anaesthetist in the first phase, and then the intensive care specialist in the second phase.
It's been a massive success. Doctors have been able to save more children's lives by using the same disciplines that skim seconds off an F1 pit stop.
We're at the beginning of this process and there's a long way to go, but we also hope that it can help other handovers of patient information in other areas of medicine.
They were amazed at what we did as a group, but looking at what they did was just mind-boggling. It was absolutely incredible.
Formula One expertise transferring to other areas, which is always great to see. Now, as the cars start to assemble on the grid, chance to have a quick word with Damon Hill, previous winner of this British Grand Prix, of course, at Silverstone, but now, more importantly, president of the BRDC, and with the responsibility for the future of this event here at the Silverstone circuit. A day like today, a moment like this, really underlines how important it is.
Yes, I think that's absolutely right. We're very, very proud, and we're very, very pleased that Mr. Ecclestone congratulated us yesterday on the state of the circuit. That's a positive indication that things are going the right way, and we want to build on that for the future.
Exactly why is it so important, both to British motorsport and to Silverstone as well, to keep the British Grand Prix here?
Well, it has an enormous effect on not just motorsport in this country, but it has an enormous effect on the image of this country worldwide. And it's a huge event, a Grand Prix, as you know. And it's really important to keep it here. We've had one since 1950, since the very beginning of Formula One. It's a central part of motorsport in this country.
It's meant a great deal to both you and your family down the years, of course. What are your thoughts for what lies in store today?
Well, I hope it's going to be a very, very exciting race. I think that this year's shown that you just need two guys out there really knocking, the bells out of each other, and you've got a fantastic show.
Well, David Coulthard is heading onto the grid, and we saw Jenson Button there as well. Quick thought from you about the British Challenge. I know the BRDC would like to see them a little bit further up that grid, but sometimes these things don't happen.
Well, obviously, a British driver at the front helps our ticket sales. but we still sold a lot of tickets. I think that just shows that the show is not just about British drivers here at Silverstone, but we would love to see a British driver up there. And if the BRDC can actually have a part to play in getting talent through for the future, then we'll see what we can do about that.
OK, Damon, thanks very much. There's Kimi Räikkönen, who will be taking his place on the front row of the grid. Now, Jenson Button, I talk to him every Saturday evening during the course of the season, and these conversations were meant to chart Jenson's progress towards a first Grand Prix victory, but instead they've become rather a catalogue of frustrations and problems and disappointments, never more so than yesterday afternoon when he failed to even make it through the first stage of qualifying. Jenson back in 19th position. Jenson, I'm sure you've had the inquest, you've analysed it all. How did the sorry tale unfold?
My first lap wasn't great, and it put me, I think, about 8th or 9th when I actually did the time, which would have been fine. You know, it's not a problem at all. I came in and getting ready to fit new tyres because we weren't sure where we would end up, and I got caught into the weighbridge, which you can be done. You know, you can be caught in at any time. It cost us about 3 minutes, and we couldn't get back out again in time. So there's a bit of a miscalculation with the time that we had. And if I'd got back out there again, it would have been easy, really easy to get inside the top 10 on the first run.
Home crowd is magnificent. They're loyal, they're supportive. It must be quite humbling driving around and seeing those banners and seeing that support.
Well, it's humbling, but it's also really difficult, especially when you have a bad weekend like this. You know, because you're not repaying them as you would like. For supporting you, so it is difficult on a weekend like this. You know, I've got to say sorry to them really for qualifying, and as you know, as a team, we didn't get the job done as we should have done. I'm not going to say we're unlucky because you can be weighed at any time during a session. We just didn't think it would happen to us at that point in time.
Michael showed in Monaco what can be done off the back of the grid at the toughest of circuits. So what's the mindset for the start tomorrow?
Well, you know, Michael's car is probably the best out there, so you know. He is helped by that, but even so, you know, I think we can have you know, I think it's going to be exciting more than anything else. That's the best way to describe it. Hopefully, a lot of overtaking, and we'll see where we end up. You know, I'm not going to say I'm going to finish 8th. I really don't know if that's possible, but we'll have a good go at it.
The luck is going to change. You're confident of that, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, some of it is unlucky, and some of it is just. You know, we're not as quick as we thought we would be, and you know, it does change the outlook on things a little bit, and we all need to sit down and discuss that on Monday. You know, I think that we understand where we went wrong in qualifying, and we need to change that for next time. You know, it's not good enough to be where I am on the grid. This is it's quite embarrassing, really. But we can't do anything about it now except learn from it and have a good race tomorrow.
Well, whatever the race holds, Silverstone is ready to cheer you on, I'm sure. All the best.
Thank you.
He has had good times at the British Grand Prix, and it was 2000 that Jenson first drove in this race. That was the answer to the competition question we set at Monaco 2 weeks ago. Nicholas Hancock from Emsworth was the winner, and a few minutes after that interview yesterday evening, Jenson was presenting the prize with a flourish.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Jenson.
Here's your new motor car.
Thank you.
No problem.
Enjoy.
Enjoy, you will, as much as me, probably.
And this week's competition has an equally decent prize.
To celebrate the release of Cars, the new animated film from the creators of Toy Story on the 28th of July, Walt Disney Pictures and Pixar Animation Studios are offering you and a friend a chance to attend the United States Grand Prix on the 2nd of July. You'll fly to Indy, stay 2 nights in a 4-star hotel and watch the race from the paddock penthouse.
Bob, my oil pressure's through the roof right now. If this gets any more exciting, they're going to have to tow me out of the booth.
You'll then fly on to San Francisco for a further 3-night stay, taking in an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of the Pixar Animation Studios. And as if that wasn't enough, you'll also get a PSP console, a Cars video game, and some special merchandise thrown in.
Oh, he's got it in the bag. Call in the dogs, put out the fire. We're going to crown us a new champion.
To be in with a chance of winning this fantastic prize, just answer this easy question. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway is in which US state? Is it A, Nevada, B, Kentucky, or C, Indiana? The number to call is 0901 293 2020, or you can text F1 plus A, B, or
Sooner
C.
rather than later, 3 minutes might do it, yeah.
Calls and texts cost £1 per entry, plus the standard network rate. Lines close at midnight on Thursday the 22nd of June, and we'll announce the winner in Canada.
Information on all ITV's F1 activities is on the website, and the chance to put your Formula One questions to Mark Blundell. He'll provide answers in our question mark feature, which he does now.
Lauren Sapsted from Hertfordshire asks, what's involved in bringing every inch of this 3.2-mile Silverstone circuit to the viewers at home? Well, it's ITV's home race this weekend, and it's our turn to provide the coverage which goes out to the global F1 audience. It takes over 200 people to bring this footage to the TV screen. This involves 40 track cameras plus onboard footage from each car. A helicopter and hoists up to 72 metres allow coverage of the whole track. And this is the area that's key to it all, the TV compound. I'm sure you'll agree it's not as glamorous as the Formula One paddock, but this really is the nerve centre to the whole TV operation. This area is full of technology, but all the focus is on this truck. The director decides what race and action to bring to a worldwide audience of over 50 million viewers per race. So there you have it. A huge operation is required each race to bring the exciting action to your living room. It is a vital part of the Grand Prix circus.
Well, David, yesterday was a bit fractious, wasn't it? You were very angry with Montoya. Has all that kind of been cleared up now?
Yeah, absolutely. The steward took a look at what they could see in the video evidence, and they obviously decided there was no reason to take action. For me, it was more about the speed. So I think it was the data that would be able to show that. I had to drive so slowly before I could start my lap. But anyway, I guess that's down to drivers finding their place on the track, and we just have to get on with the main business of going racing.
Points today?
Well, we're not that far out of them to start with. Obviously, it's going to take good strategy, or if there's some reliability issues up front. So clearly, that's what we're aiming for.
Thanks, David.
So the umbrellas are up. The heat is beating down on that Silverstone grid. Grid forming for the British Grand Prix. Always a great moment at the home of British motorsport. Patrick Head with Mark Webber. They're also a fair way back down that grid. But out on the Silverstone grid, a location he knows so well, Martin Brundle.
Thank you, Steve. How happy am I? This is fantastic. Do you want some extremes? Well, sunshine and Silverstone. The RAF Central Band have just been playing. I'm sure they'll fire up again shortly. But there's another extreme then is Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. I saw him on the grid somewhere. You can't really miss his hairstyle. Here he is now. We're going to dive in. Axl, welcome to the grid. Welcome to the jungle that is the Formula One grid. No November rain here today. We've got some amazing June sunshine. What brings you here today?
The excitement of F1.
Are you a fast driver? You into driving cars fast? You ever raced?
I have some fun cars. I've never raced, but not driving fast like this. Not yet. I'm going to take some lessons.
Now, your voice is incredibly powerful. Do you reckon you could outball one of these V8 Formula One engines?
No, that's pretty loud. Very, very loud.
I heard somewhere that you sing so loud sometimes that you've got blood coming out of the back of your throat. Is that a true story?
No. Hopefully not. No, never want that to happen.
Okay, you're here with McLaren today, and are you following this team particularly? Why are you here with these guys?
Oh, they were just kind enough to invite us down to the thing, but it's like I watch all the different teams.
Right, well look, have a great day's motorsport, and it's good to see you. Let's wander around, see who else we can find on the grid. I don't know if Alonso is here anywhere. Is Fernando about? No, I don't think he is. We'll try and catch him as we get. This is fantastic. The first three drivers on the grid. We've been waiting so long for this to happen. Fernando Alonso, Kimi Raikkonen and Michael Schumacher, surely the best three that there are around at the moment, have made it. Flavio, you're not... this is with Willie Webber. Are you just cutting a deal for next year with Michael?
Done.
Tell me you're not leaving Formula One.
No. What you talk? You talk with Willie or with me?
No, you.
No. If you stay, I stay.
Okay, good man. Let's wade in here. Right, let's wander. Here's Gary. We heard all about Lewis Hamilton early on in the McLaren stable, and he's doing a fantastic job. You're also a test driver for McLaren. Welcome to the grid. How's it going?
Great. Yeah, it's great to be here at my first British GP as an F1 driver. So no, it's great to be here. McLaren on the front row.
Well, you're the reigning DTM champion, and obviously we're hoping to see you on the grid. We may need as many British drivers as we can next year. You think there's a chance?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's going well with McLaren. There's a few seats up for grabs here and there. So, yeah, next year would be great.
All right, we're really looking forward to seeing you. Bernie.
We need him.
Yeah, we do. We need all the youngsters we can get on the grid.
Absolutely. Be careful what you say about youngsters at the moment. A bit sensitive. We need guys like him, I tell you.
So you're looking extremely relaxed. You've won the war against the teams, haven't you? You won the battle.
Never was a war.
No, you're sure, but you do look like you're particularly happy with the way things are going. Formula One settling down, you can get back with promoting it a bit.
Yeah, I think we've got all the nonsense out of the way. So you quite rightly say we can get on and promote Formula One as it should be promoted.
Okay, well, I'm going to wander. I just want a quick word with Randy Mamela. This guy, ex-MotoG 500 Grand Prix rider. You took Michael Schumacher on a two-seater motorbike. How did he... I heard he might have just have been a little bit scared.
Yeah, he said it was pretty scary, but you know, I showed him what MotoGP was all about. It's great to be here at Silverstone on the F1 grid.
Okay, good to see you, Randy. There's somebody I want to see back here who's with Rubens today. He's back P6 on the grid, and I'm not going to get as far down as Jensen. I feel so sorry for Jensen. I just wish he was up where he deserves to be. We'll get a quick chat with. I have a feeling this is the guy. The lead singer, it's a musical day, lead singer from...
I'm no lead singer.
Okay.
I'm the keyboards.
Okay, from the Kaiser Chiefs. Well, I have to say I don't have all of your CDs, but... Well, you know, it's they're not ones I'm collecting at the moment. Listen, your name's Peanut, isn't it?
Yes.
That's not your real name, of course.
Certainly not.
Okay, so what brings you to the grid? You with Honda today?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, they've been very kind to us, and yeah, they got me down here. And I'm kind of overwhelmed by the noise, you know, and just like that over there. It's quite amazing, yeah.
Yeah, well, you wait till they get going. You will not believe the energy as these 22 cars leave the grid. Something like, what is that, 18,000 horsepower or something about to leap off this grid. It's incredible.
That's a bit more than my new car, yeah.
Okay, good stuff. It's good to see you. We haven't had an MRP. We haven't had a Marty's random person this year. And let's just... Hello, excuse me. Got a few million people here. I'd like to know who you are.
From Foster's, Australia. Adele.
Okay,
yeah.
so you're working with Foster's, and are you sponsors of this Grand Prix or something?
Exactly right. Fantastic brand. So, okay. Fantastic race.
Good stuff. So, who are you supporting here today? Who do you want to win?
Alonso.
Yeah. Okay, I think he's got a great chance. Back to Steve.
How do they all get on that grid? And Martin has worn himself out, and he's still got a commentary to do, and he's got a commentary to do on what is promising to be a pretty spectacular race. Maybe not for Jenson Button and Honda, though, and Jenson has taken his place where at the back of the grid, but right behind Mark Webber, who will have similar intentions to make progress through the opening laps, Mark.
Definitely so. Those two guys really did get sort of penalised in a qualifying format. But Jenson there, you know, he looks relaxed, and as ever, he's always got a smile on his face, but behind that smile is some huge frustration. He really would like to deliver in front of the home crowd. You cannot underestimate what it means to drive to turn up for the home Grand Prix, Steve. And Britain especially really is the home of motorsport. We've got great fans here, immense enthusiasm, and that guy there would love to deliver a result. Somehow it just don't feel it's going to be there for him today.
Yes, it was interesting to hear him talk about feeling rather guilty about not delivering for this home crowd. In a way, Fernando Alonso, who is making his way in leisurely fashion to pole position or up the pit lane, home Grand Prix for him, lives in Oxford, and of course the team is based just a few miles away from here as well.
Oh, definitely. The team's very local. They've got all of the factory guys here who do the workload behind the scenes and don't get a lot of credit for it, but definitely I think Alonso's got a huge chance. Obviously he's the quickest man we've seen over recent races, but that man there, Michael Schumacher, is key to this race, as is Kimi Räikkönen. There's going to be some fireworks at the front of the grid.
And as concerns the front of the grid, what do you judge the tactics to be if we assume that they're all on two stops? What about the initial fuel loads?
Well, it'd be interesting to see. We always know that McLaren run deep into the first part of the race. They tend to run a heavier fuel load than most. Renault and Ferrari have played games the last few races, and tactically have been at the wit's end with the two guys there, Ross Brawn and Pat Simmons, trying to work out each other's strategy. But this is going to be something very special today, I'm hoping, because I feel that Renault and Ferrari are going to be quite evenly matched, and McLaren may have a little bit of extra fuel. If they've got the pace to go with it, we're in for a real cracking race.
Fernando Alonso there, taking the shortcut onto the grid. An emotional winner in Barcelona, a brilliant winner in Monaco. Monaco was all about concentration. This is all about blinding speed, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know the big thing with Alonso, that guy there is able to absorb pressure like I haven't seen anybody before at such a young age. David Coulthard getting strapped in. He too is having some frustrations. He kind of wanted to lay some blame down at Montoya, but that seems to have been overlooked. But Alonso, going back to him, the guy does absorb pressure like I've seen nobody else, even more so than Michael Schumacher. And we've seen some chinks in his armour over the years, but Alonso, I haven't seen him crack under anything at this point.
So a tremendous high-speed race coming, and just the kind of challenge that Fernando Alonso will be relishing. He's made such a defense of his World Championship title, and victory here would just confirm him even more strongly as potentially the 2006 champion as well. But I wonder what drama awaits in these opening laps here, not only from Alonso, from Raikkonen and Schumacher at the front, but also from our man, Jenson Button, at the back. We shall know in just a few minutes from now.